the show that highlights America's most intelligent people.
Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General. His wife. Yeah, Joe Biden's wife, because she, he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor.
She's a hell of a doctor.
She's an amazing doctor.
Amazing
Freedom's
doctor.
Pep Rally
Dr.
with John
Jill Biden.
James.
Oh, Dr. Jill Biden. Hell of a doctor. She'd make a great Surgeon General. That's what Whoopi Goldberg thinks anyway. Yeah, you know Whoopi. She right there. Come on down, baby. Sister Act. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the smartest. Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah. That hurts. That hurts my voice. We're a little late getting in here this morning. We had an internet malfunction. Coffee's all gone, too. That makes it a little tough. Oh, geez, I missed the trash. This isn't going to be a good morning. When I can't swish a coffee cup in the trash, that's not a good sign. Well, we'll make the best of it, I guess. 28 past 9 o'clock right now. It's Legacy 1160 WSKW. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally, and we are in it to win it. That's why we're here. That's our motto, in it to win it. That's not really our motto, but I kind of like that, don't you? 621-975-9207-441-6969. I don't know if we're up and going on YouTube yet. I'm not seeing that there is video on the YouTube yet. There's I don't know what's going on. It says coming. I don't know why there's nothing as of... Oh, there we go. We are on. Okay. It was showing me a blank screen. I have no idea why. So we've got the YouTube stream up and running, and it's also streaming at legacy1160.com. If you want to see the stories we talk about on this show, just go to legacy1160.com/FPR, Freedom's Pep Rally. And you can see all the stuff we talk about. You don't obviously get the comments because it's the actual stories, but most of them, I try to get most of them up there, legacy1160.com/FPR. And it's also at the American Women website as well, which is awba.com/FPR. We've got a 9:30 right now, and let's find out what happened on this day in years past, shall we? It is Groundhog's Day. Did old Punxsutawney see his snot locker this morning? Do we know? He did. Okay. I don't know how. Maybe it's sunny in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure, but we'll have to check, see if Goober up in Millinocket, he's got his little hole right under the WSYY tower there in Millinocket. So he's not only getting to see his shadow, but he's getting a nice dose of the radio waves, the radiation into his little groundhog body. So we'll see what's going on up there in a little while. But right now, let's find out what happened on this day in years past. Here is the Associated Press.
February 2nd, 1943. A major victory for the Soviet Union during World War II, as the last of Nazi Germany's forces in the Battle of Stalingrad surrendered. The Nazis and their Axis partners lost some 800,000 troops in the months-long battle. The Soviets lost more than 1 million soldiers. 1971. Idi Amin seizes power through a military coup in the East African country of Uganda. His brutal 8-year regime is believed to have killed hundreds of thousands of people. 1882. James Joyce, the Irish author whose works include Ulysses and Finnegan's Wake, is born in Dublin. 1996.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain.
Gene Kelly, dancer, actor, and choreographer of Singin' in the Rain fame, dies in Beverly Hills, California. He was 83. At 1979, punk rock musician Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols dies of a drug overdose in New York. He was 21. Today in history, February 2nd, Carlotta Bradley, The Associated Press.
Sid Vicious is dead. He did. 9:33 on Legacy. I did a little pushing around of snow this morning. My snowblower went boobs up. Wow, I almost said something else. I almost said something I learned years ago from a former boss of mine. It's not boobs up. It's something similar, but a little more vulgar. The snowblower went this morning, pretty much. It did. It did. I don't know what happened to it either. I was trying to get, I wanted to get the heater bank out of the end of the driveway and clear out some of the snow, which I did, clean the vehicles off, and got a couple of paths done, thankfully. And then I stopped it. I stopped the snowblower to clean off a truck. I didn't shut it down. I just stopped it. I just stopped it. I let it run. I let it idle. I had just blown up the driveway. I'd got to the truck, and I wanted to clean the truck off so I could snow blow that snow away. And then when I went to engage the snowblower again, the auger and the impeller stopped. They weren't working anymore. They just stopped. So I don't know if I got a belt problem. I don't know why. You know the thing. I don't know what's wrong with it. So now I'm going to have to break my back shoveling. My back is not good. And that's why I wanted to get some of the snow out of the way early. So if I had to do some shoveling, it wouldn't be as much. But always a headache. 21st century problems, right? I've been wanting one of those snow blowers with the tracks. So maybe this is the opportune time. They're very expensive, but they look nice. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me, have you used a snowblower with the tracks? Like the bulldozer tracks? Are those better? Are they worse? Are they harder to handle? Are they harder to turn? Is it more, I don't know, maybe I'll just get one with wheels if the wheels are better. What do you think? Have you tried? I want somebody who's tried both to tell me which is better. So I'm hoping it's the one with tracks that is better because I really want one of those. They look pretty cool and they groovy and they look like they'll go up steps and everything. I'd probably take it right in my house and, when I'm done with it, just to look at it. It's something new. I like to look at it for a while. Like when I get a new gun, I like to just look at it. I don't shoot it necessarily for a while, but I'll look at it and I'll take it apart and just, I don't know. Just weird that way, I guess. I like stuff. I do. I don't ogle at it forever. I just ogle at it when it's new, then I'm tired of it. I used to ogle it. I used to ogle at this snowblower. I got my first snowblower ever. I got it at Sears about 20 years ago. And it was nice and shiny and red and it has a light on it and everything. So you can snowblow at night in the dark. And you don't have to have one of those LL Bean hats with the lights on them. You can use the light on the snowblower. So that's cool. So I got that. And I thought that, I looked at that for a while. I'd start it up and listen to it run. It's weird. Isn't that weird? Guys are weird. Lady, if you're a woman and you don't understand it, don't even try to. Don't even try to because it's juvenile. It's very juvenile. But it's how I tick and it's how a lot of guys tick. So, I do the same thing with guns. I don't think I'd take it inside the house and look at it, but, it might cross my mind, especially if it had tracks and could get up the stairs like these newfangled snowblowers could. It's 9:36 now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. I think I've taken enough of your time. This is Freedom's Pep Rally. We are broadcasting at 1160 a.m. We are also audio streaming, brought to you by the Harry J. Smith Company on Sanger Avenue in Waterville for all your automotive needs. And that's our audio stream 24/7. And the live and local talk with Mike, Violette, and me is powered by Moody's Collision Center on video, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, on legacy1160.com. So you can check that out as well. And, oh, by the way, I just thought of this. If you would like to sponsor the page, I just thought of this in my brain. As I'm talking to you about our sponsors, I just created this new page for Freedom's Pep Rally that has all the news stories we talk about. Just go to legacy1160.com/FPR for Freedom's Pep Rally, and you'll get a list and links to all the stories we talk about here on the show, and that's updated several times a day. And maybe you'd like to sponsor that so people can see you when they go check out all the day's news. We've got 937 on Legacy 1160 right now, and the snow is supposed to be 6 to 12 inches here in central Maine. It looked like it had let up, but it's supposed to continue snowing. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Well, Joe Biden has condemned what's going on in Burma. The military overthrew the government. He says it's bad. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to bother them or not. I don't know if it's going to phase them one little bit. Burma, by the way, is also known as Myanmar or Myanmar. I'm not sure how you say it. Myanmar, which is a Burmese word meaning Burma, I think. And, you know, I have to tell you this. 90% of Americans cannot find Burma on a map. I don't know why this statistic just came out. 9 in 10 of us can't find Burma on a map. And I'll be honest with you, I couldn't even find a map. So there is that. I mean, we are in the 21st century. Maps are a thing of the past, aren't they? You just Google what you want to see, and it gives you a Google Earth close-up of it. You don't even have to see where the heck on the globe it is anymore. And let's get right in. Let's get right into it. Have we hossed around enough here this morning? We'll hoss around some more later. I like to have a little fun with you. I want to read you a little piece here, though. This is so good. And I don't, once in a while, I find an article that I just have to read as it is written because it is so good. And to try to paraphrase it is really takes away from it because so much thought was put into it. And such is the case with this one. A guy named Frank Miele, I'm not sure if that's how you say his name. It's Miele, from Real Clear Politics, did a brilliant piece about the establishment, a.k.a. the deep state, declaring their war on conservatives and our values. I mean, face it. You have to understand these people don't like us. In fact, you know, they hate us. I mean, let's be honest about it. It's not just a matter of dislike. It's hate. It's pure, unadulterated hatred for us. And we aren't like that toward them. I don't understand the mindset of the vitriolic hatred, the rage they have toward us. But they have it. They don't like us. They don't want us. They want to rule us. They want our guns. They want to shut us up. They don't want us to rule ever again. And part of that deep state, I hate to say it, but I'm going to, are people like Liz Cheney and Mitch McConnell. Notice how much they detest and would love to literally remove duly elected representatives like Matt Gaetz of Florida, like Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, like Josh Hawley of Missouri, right? The left is suddenly in love with Liz Cheney and Mitt Romney. That should tell you all you need to know. I say out with the old, in with the new. It's time for the new Republican Party to step up because we need more than moderation to save our country. Moderation was good when everybody was more moderate. Moderation was okay when the Democrats were more moderate. Am I right? Of course I am. You know I am. When everybody was moderate and could talk, moderates were fine. But no more. No more. The far left is off the rails, and they are taking us places we do not want to go. And by voting for them, the people have told us they like the direction the leftist progressives want to go, which is directly into socialism, communism, without a doubt, into tyranny, into government control, government mandates. What do you think COVID-19 is? What do you think all these edicts are? Has Joe Biden even signed an order about this mask mandate? He said I have no idea. He has signed so many executive orders. I have no idea where he is right now. I have no idea where he is in this or what he's doing. So maybe there's some law I don't know about, but I really don't care. I'm not going to do anything just because Joe Biden says we've got to do it. I'm not going to do anything because the government says I've got to do it. If it infringes on my constitutional rights, I will not do it, will not comply. And I can't speak for you, but I don't think you should either. I mean, we've got to take a stand. We've got to take a stand. Let me read you some of this article. And I'm sorry, I've got to get over on the comment sections. I'm not in the, there we go. Okay, we're getting all our comments this morning. Good. I was wondering about that because we did have that internet problem earlier. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Alany. Good morning, Dick. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Mikkel. Good morning, one. Good morning, all. And welcome to the show. So we've got looks like Facebook and YouTube comments coming in here. We're good. We're good to go. Share. Please share the video. Please share the love. Share the freedom. Now more than ever, we need people who do not like to hear stuff like this to hear it. We need to force feed them. Of course they have free will. They have a choice. But if it's out there, if it's right there in front of them, they're probably out of curiosity going to click on it. And just maybe, something will make a little bit of sense to them. And they'll say, wait a minute, how did I miss that? Like we're going to talk about gun control a little later on this morning. Colleen Noir, who is an amazing, he's a part of our Black Voices Matter series. Colleen Noir is phenomenal. He's an attorney. He's a pro-gun guy. And he thinks that H.R. 127, Sheila Jackson Lee's bill that would annihilate the Second Amendment, he thinks it has a chance at passing. Do you know what that would do to this country? That one bill alone. Do you know what its passing would do to this country? Sheila Jackson Lee is a communist. There is a Nazi. There is your Nazi. Sheila Jackson Lee. Put the swastika by her head because it belongs there. I'm going to create a picture of Sheila Jackson Lee, and I'm going to put a swastika on it, and I'm going to post it. And I'm going to see how long it is before Facebook blocks me and takes it down. There is your Nazi. Do you want to pick somebody to be a Nazi? Not Donald Trump. Never was. I'm not saying Donald Trump is perfect. I'm not saying Donald Trump doesn't have ties to China. He's got ties to every place in the world. Has he ever done anything corrupt? I'm sure he has. He's a billionaire. His kids were involved with China. But forget about all that. Look who is trying to annihilate our rights. It's the left. It's the communist social. No, they're not socialists. They say they're Democrats, some of them. Bernie Sanders has the gall to call himself an independent who caucuses with the Democrats. He is a communist. He's afraid to say it because the people out there are too dumb. Oh, Bernie, we love you, Bernie. Bernie's great. Bernie's going to save us. Bernie's a communist, and you're too stupid to realize it, you who support him. Either that or you want communism. Which is it? It's one or the other. You either are too dumb to figure out that Bernie Sanders belongs leading a country like Venezuela or Cuba, or you want us to be like Venezuela or Cuba. It's one or the other. Poop or get off the pot. I cleaned that one up pretty quick, didn't I? 9:46. All right, LD 131. In the current legislature, amends the Emergency Powers Act to include legislative consultation and approval prior to extension beyond the first 30 days. I think, I'm not sure, that came in during Mike's show. All right, we've got a couple things here came in. Okay, yeah, we're off the air. I knew that. That was earlier. We're good now. Laughing because now I guess they put all that legalized documents with appliances and machinery. Someone might just try ascending a staircase with a snowblower. You know what? That's funny. That I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that is on the instruction pamphlet that comes with those track drive snowblowers. I bet it is, because people are so stupid. Either that, no, probably more likely that companies are so afraid they'll be sued, they put on a cup of hot coffee that you order, contents may be hot. They have to do that to protect their butts. So they probably do put, please do not drive this machinery up a staircase. That's probably in there. And of course, if I see that, I'm going to do it. Let's see. New snowblower here in Skowhegan. Come get it tomorrow afternoon. Brand new look. Bring money. $300, Ken. Well, there you go. Let's call me up, Ken. We'll get you on the radio and we'll do our first swap shop here. Let's sell that snowblower for you. Call us up. I've always wanted to do a swap and sell show. And well, I've done one before. That's why. And I love doing them. They're a lot of fun. You get a lot of calls. That's why. And people sell some really odd things and other people buy it because they want some really odd things. And that's a great deal. A new snowblower for $300? It says new. Wow, is that right? Do you want to sell it to anybody for that, or is that just my price, Ken? $300. Wow. Yikes. That's going to be a hard deal to pass up. Probably has wheels, probably doesn't have tracks. I want tracks. Now, beggars can't be choosers. I've got a snowblower that don't work. You have one for $300 that works? Well, you know, maybe we'll have to make a deal. But if you want to try to sell it here on the show, go ahead. We call it Tradio. Tradio. That's the name the boss gave it. He said we could go ahead and do Tradio if we wanted to. If we get interest, we'll buy and sell stuff on the radio here. I don't care. This can be a variety show. I don't like to be all political and hyped up all the time. You know what that does to my voice? You know what that does to my poor throat? I get all wound up. You know, I get passionate. I'm not angry at anybody. I can talk to anybody. I can sit down with my worst enemy and have a nice conversation with them. They not so much with me, because they are well, it depends on the enemy, depends on their political outlook. It seems as soon as I state my political beliefs to somebody who doesn't agree with them, they literally, you can see their face get red. When they start accusing me. When somebody says something I disagree with, like, you know, many times I've had people, I don't like Donald Trump. And I don't fume. I ask them, I say, why not? Well, and then they'll give me some lame, it's always a lame answer. It's always a very, well, I don't like the way he talks. The things he says, he's such a misogynist. Okay. So put all that aside. Why isn't he a good president? Well, you know, the way he talks. No, I didn't ask you that. What has he done? People call him Nazi. People called him Hitler. People said he was locking kids up in cages. Tell me, what part of this do you agree with and think is true and can prove to me? Well, yeah, I just don't like him. And that, you know, that usually simmers things down a little bit. 9:51 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. So anyway, Ken, somebody wants to call and sell something, go for it. I don't care. I'm all ears here. I'll do whatever you want. I'm in it for you, but we're going to talk politics in the meantime. I want to read you this article. And I think I might have just about enough time to do it. Let me look. Let me check. Oh, boy. Do I have to take a break? Maybe not. The internet outage screwed up my feng shui. So frankly, I don't even know where I am here. Okay, so no, I may have to do a break. Hold on, let's see. All right. 9:52. All right, no, we've got some time. So this article is by a guy named Frank Miel of Real Clear Politics. Oh, we don't? All right, I'll save that for next hour. Sorry to be switching gears here. I'm just trying to budget my time. Let's talk about Ashley Babbitt. She was the young woman who was shot in the Capitol the day of the insurgency on January 6th. Nobody wants to talk about the fact there were some Antifa people in there. Nobody wants to talk about it. All they want to talk about is the Trump-supporting domestic terrorists on mainstream media. That's all they want to talk about because they are not news. They are not news. In fact, I loved it. Tucker Carlson said it last night. He said that MSNBC isn't news, even though Chuck Todd asserts that they have no editorial opinion on MSNBC during the daytime. What a jerk. What a lying fool he is. I don't know how he keeps a job asserting things like, I don't know how they keep ratings. I really don't. But they've done better than Fox in the past few months because of people bailing out of Fox News. But nobody wants to talk about the insurgency and the fact there were some Antifa people in there. And here's the latest on the Ashley Babbitt story. She's a young woman. Like I said, she was shot and killed there in the Capitol. Investigators made a preliminary determination that the police officer who shot and killed Babbitt should not be charged with any crime in connection with her death. It's according to people familiar with the review. Little background on Ashley Babbitt. She served more than a dozen years in the Air Force and Air National Guard, became a passionate supporter of Donald Trump, died from a shot by a Capitol police officer after rioters smashed through a door to the Speaker's lobby. And, you know, that's one of those things, should have known better. Now, I'm not saying the cop that shot her was right or wrong. I have no idea. That's up to these people who are investigating to decide. Any place where lawlessness is occurring, whether it's your side or the other side, if you're in the group, you are known by those you hang around with. And it's no clearer, it's not any more clearer than it is in a case like this. She was with people crashing through the door into the Speaker's lobby. And sadly, very tragically, she was shot and killed. The Justice Department said in announcing the investigation, it was following routine procedure whenever there's a deadly shooting by police in the metropolitan Washington area, or anywhere for that matter. Police investigators made an initial determination that charges against the officer aren't warranted. Adding, the Justice Department officials have not yet made a final determination on the matter. And the U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C. is leading a broader investigation into the riot and prosecuting more than 150 cases that have resulted to date. You know, doesn't this raise a lot of questions about why is Antifa and BLM getting virtually a free pass on all of the riots, all of the killings, all of the carnage, all of the destruction, all of the fires, all of the occupying, all of it. Thousands of them, billions of dollars in damage. People losing their homes, their businesses, police being pushed out of their stations, their precincts as they were burned, occupying part of Seattle, Washington. People raped and killed during that little escapade. Why is that not mentioned? I think the mainstream media controls the narrative more than we know. If the mainstream media doesn't report it, the DC activists and crowds don't want it pushed forward. In fact, we know for a fact that Commie Harris had a hand in bailing out rioters that were engaging in destroying our cities. Commie Harris herself raised money to bail them back out so they could go out rioting some more. So not only do they look the other way, but they also enable. And nobody says a word about it. As long as MSNBC, CNN, CBS, ABC, NBC don't report it, shh, be quiet. Be quiet. We don't want this to end. We have to keep racism alive. We have to keep the violence going. Shh. But the minute it's a more focused attack, oh my God, they attacked the Capitol. Now the war is on. Now it's got to be all over the news, and it is. Now we have somebody we can demonize. We don't want to demonize our side. We don't want to demonize the Marxist BLM crowd. We don't want to demonize Antifa. No, shut up about them. Don't even put them on the news, and they didn't. The media complied, and so did Congress. So did the ignorant cowards in Congress complied. Not a word. But as soon as Trump supporters come to the Capitol, well, we've got to put walls up and fences to protect Congress because we're so important. The people out there, don't worry about the Mexico-American border. No, don't worry. Our people aren't, they're just citizens. They're just collateral damage. But us, we need to be protected. We need to be protected so we can continue to work with China and work with Russia and work with the Ukraine and pad our pockets and the pockets of our families. Oh, my word, you've got to build that wall. We need troops. 20,000 troops need to protect us. To hell with the border. Screw them. Let them in. Let them come in. Lori Lightfoot of Chicago wants nothing to do with DHS or ICE, nothing to do with them. While people die on her street, 21 people shot, 4 died in the streets just this past weekend. And that was a good weekend in Chicago. But she doesn't want anything to do with immigration enforcement because they're just human beings. They need a place to stay, and they need a place to target practice, and they need targets to practice on. What better targets than our citizens here in Chicago? Those damned American scum, especially the Trump supporters. Lori Lightfoot, 2021. I'm giving her that quote. That quote is hers. Not really, but I'm saying it is. So if I say it, I'm the media, then you've got to believe it. That's the rule over at MSNBC because there's no editorial opinion here on Legacy 1160 during the daytime. Right? Right, Chuck Todd? You idiot. It's 10 o'clock. I'll be right back. I'm John James.
ABC News, I'm Faith Abube. A winter wallop in the Northeast from a major snowstorm. Many parts of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania seeing upwards of 2 feet of snow. ABC's chief meteorologist, Ginger Z.
Some of the biggest totals have surpassed 30 inches, including in Newton, New Jersey, Nazareth, Pennsylvania, Harrison, New York, picking up more than 2 feet, Wilmington, Massachusetts, getting up there. And I say getting up there because we're not done.
The storm slowing down the COVID vaccination effort in the Northeast. Many locations now closed for at least 2 days. Republicans encouraged after a meeting with President Biden last night. They presented their less expensive coronavirus relief plan. The Democrats pressuring the president to push forward with his full, nearly $2 trillion plan. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has released a rare, blistering statement taking aim at freshman Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. McConnell saying loony lies and conspiracy theories are cancer for the Republican Party. This is ABC News. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny facing a court hearing today that could end with him being sentenced to several years behind bars. He was rearrested when he returned to Russia last month following 5 months in Germany. He was there to be treated after being poisoned with a nerve agent. Navalny blames the Kremlin for the attack. Misinformation about the coronavirus vaccine still spreading fast, especially through social media. ABC's Jim Ryan has a story.
The Kaiser Family Foundation has found that 51% of us either refuse to get vaccinated or are waiting to see how it's working. Public health officials lay blame for the hesitancy at the feet of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Social media has been a disaster during this pandemic.
Dr. Antonio Falcone is the health authority in Starr County, Texas, and he's trying to counter the misinformation.
There's so much out there.
He says Starr County's majority Latino population is deeply suspicious of the vaccine, partly based on what's been said on social media. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Faith Abube, ABC News.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Most people know that Mr. Clean Magic Eraser removes crayon and scuff marks from walls, but did you know it even cleans tough kitchen and bathroom messes that are sometimes tough to tackle? Just wet, squeeze, and erase gray soap scum on your bathtub. Erase cloudy hard water spots in your shower. Erase burnt-on stovetop messes. So for all your tough kitchen and bathroom messes, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Gary is refinancing his home, so he shopped around for the lowest rate and found it at Amerisave.com, setting him up for a lifetime of savings. It's one decision he'll never regret, unlike taking that gig in the testing lab at the deodorant company.
Raise your arm, please. Oh, man, I hate this job.
Pretty regrettable, Gary. Unlike finding that low mortgage rate at Amerisave.com that's got you on your way to a lifetime of savings. Amerisave's rates won't be this low forever, so go to Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings. Call 866-514-SAVE or visit Amerisave.com/licensing for cost information, terms, and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all states except New York. NMLS number 1168.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160. And now, back to John James on Central Maine's Heritage Station, Legacy 1160.
Hey!
WSKW.
Hey, how are you? I just got a text from my grandson. I love this kid. We got him a new computer late last year, sort of an early Christmas gift. And he's on Steam, which is a game platform online, which, platforms like that, one of the reasons GameStop is, they're not long for this world, despite the fact their stocks soared, thanks to the Reddit guys. But he just texted me, Pee-Pee, that's what he calls me. Mike knows that, and you probably do too. I've talked about that. He says, Pee-Pee, there is a game on Steam we could play together. If you get it, it's called Raft. You have to build a raft in the middle of the ocean and have to survive, but there is a shark around you that's trying to attack you, but you can get spears to attack it when it attacks your raft. Maybe we could get it and play together sometime. Yes. And I immediately, I didn't even have to think. Yes. And he says, cool, it would be so much fun to play with you. It would be awesome. And that just brings tears to my eyes. I love that kid. And I'm sorry, just indulge me for a minute here. I've got to text him back a couple of quick hearts. There we go. He got his own iPhone. He's going to be 12 years old. He got his own iPhone this year, so. Yeah, I'm so proud of that kid. I really am. It's 10:06 here on Legacy 1160. I know you can understand that. And I appreciate your indulging me for a second. I want to get right into this piece that was written by Frank Miel. And again, I'm not sure I got his name right. Real Clear Politics. And this is his piece. And I read it verbatim, maybe with a little comment in the middle of it. Maybe not. Because it's so well written and it makes so much sense. And maybe there's some leftists listening right now who may want to hear this and understand where conservative people are coming from and why we are so concerned about losing our country. Believe me, there are many reasons to be concerned, and we'll get into some of them, including the latest gun bill, H.R. 127, in a little while. But Frank Miel's piece goes like this. I didn't declare war on the establishment. It declared war on me. It declared war on me when it supported energy policies that could enrich Saudi Arabia and Russia and would cost me more. It declared war on me when it told me my ideas weren't worthy of debate and discussion, or that they were even so dangerous they couldn't be shared publicly. It declared war on me when it used the police powers of the FBI and CIA to first spy on a presidential candidate and then work to undermine the administration of that candidate after he was elected. It declared war on me when it told me boys could compete against girls in high school sports and that they could shower together afterwards. It declared war on me when it offered citizenship to illegal aliens and shipped American jobs to China. It declared war on me when it mocked the usefulness of the wall on the Mexican border, and simultaneously when it mocked the usefulness of the wall at the Mexican border and simultaneously put up a razor wire fence around the Capitol. It declared war on me when it tried to defund the police so that millions of Americans would be left defenseless against mobs from Antifa and Black Lives Matter. It declared war on me when it said America was never great. It declared war on me when it told my children they are not good enough because they are white. It declared war on me when I said that defending the Constitution's rule on federal elections is sedition. It declared war on me when it told me that I was a domestic terrorist if I didn't believe the government's official pronouncements about elections, about free speech, and about the right and wrong. Let's just say it plainly. The establishment declared war on me and all conservative Americans when it decided that leftist orthodoxy was more important than the Constitution. Don't believe me? Fine. Why should you believe a Trump supporter? You've been indoctrinated by the national media, big tech oligarchs, the Democratic Party, and academic elites to believe without questioning that people like me can't be trusted. But you don't have to take my word for it. Listen instead to John Brennan, the former CIA director under President Obama, who speaks authoritatively for the deep state. He said on MSNBC, quote, "The members of the Biden team who have been nominated or have been appointed are now moving in laser-like fashion to try to uncover as much as they can about what looks very similar to insurgency movements that we've seen overseas, where they germinate in different parts of the country and they gain strength, and it brings together an unholy alliance, frequently of religious extremists, authoritarians, fascists, bigots, racists, nativists, even libertarians." That's John Brennan talking about us. This guilt by labeling is the antithesis of fair play or justice. It is a convenient mechanism for the ruling class to herd people into identity clusters so that individual rights can be supplanted by group responsibility. If this reminds you of China's Cultural Revolution, you are not wrong. The ruling class wants you to conform, confirm, and comply. If you step outside the lines, be prepared to be shamed, silenced, and ostracized. That's the cancel culture. They're all lemmings, all of them. Now, to finish up the article, a shocking example. Listen to this. I don't know if you heard about this story, but this was Tucker Carlson featured this. A shocking example was provided last Wednesday, when Douglas Mackey of Delray Beach, Florida, was arrested for creating memes. He created memes that allegedly misled voters in 2016 to think they could vote by texting instead of actually going to the polls. This is the equivalent of arresting Sacha Baron Cohen for exposing the gullibility of the rich and famous. The FBI offered no evidence that Mackey actually convinced anyone not to vote, but even if he did, so what? Would you rather live in a country where the FBI is hunting down pranksters 4 years after the supposed transgression, or a country where voters are expected to be able to recognize a joke when they see one? That's a great article. Frank Miel, and you can find that. I posted that for you at the website, legacy1160.com/FPR. And you can find all the stories that we talk about right there. Most all the stories are right there for you. 10:12 now on Legacy 1160, WSKW. Christian group, here we go. Here is the left suppressing Christian groups. Hold on a second. I've got to do the door thing again. Stay with me. Hold on. I don't know. For somebody who's hard of hearing, I certainly can hear voices down the hall. Or maybe they're in my head. I'm not sure. So a Christian group now has been suppressed. You know, you've got people out there talking about racism, voter suppression. Stacey Abrams, the failed gubernatorial candidate. The only thing she's her only credit is running for governor of Georgia and losing. But she is the God. She is the savior of social justice. There's, by the way, there's a Stop Stacey movement. We'll talk about that later. So let's tell you about this group that has been suppressed here. This Christian group that has been suppressed, suspended by Twitter last week. Why, you might ask? Well, they were suppressed and they were suspended from Twitter because they said accurately that Dr. Rachel Levine, the Assistant Secretary for Health of the Department of HHS, is a biological male. Which is true. I will use her correct pronouns, she and her. But Dr. Rachel Levine is a biological male. And I must say, she is probably one of the homeliest women I've ever seen. I will go on record saying that. That's not hate speech. That's true speech. Even hate speech is free speech, by the way. But because the group is focused on the family. That's the group. And they were banned because of their hateful rhetoric for calling a man a man. You can't call a man if the man identifies as a woman. You can't do it because it's hurtful. And we police the speech. We can't have you saying that a man is a man if the man identifies as a woman. So we're going to stop you. We're going to shut you down. Welcome to America 2021, kids. Ain't it great? Ain't it great? Yeah, I would say that in a group of friends. I would say, yeah, I've seen Dr. Rachel Levine. Dr. Rachel Levine is the homeliest woman I've ever seen. Sue me over it. Arrest me for it. That's what they want to do. You know, that's what they want to do. That's their ultimate goal, is to be able to, and I'm not lying about this. Look up Jonathan Turley. He's a liberal professor at George Washington University. He's an incredibly smart man who worries that before long, because it's already happening in Western countries, before long, if you say anything that is considered hate speech in your home and somebody reports it, you can be tried and arrested. Did you know that? So if I call Rachel Levine the homeliest woman I ever saw, or I say Rachel Levine is a biological male, and they, whoever they are, maybe it's Mark Zuckerberg, I don't know, decide, well, that's hate speech, we can arrest you for that. So, okay. So, yeah, I don't even want to live in a country like that. I would go to war to prevent myself and my family from living in a country like that. And I'm not the only American who says that. God bless America, and thank you. Good morning, Jeff. So focus on the family, now banned from Twitter for hateful rhetoric. It was tweeted January 19th. On Tuesday, President-elect Joe Biden announced that he had chosen Dr. Rachel Levine because he is virtue signaling. He wants to check off all the boxes. By the way, Rachel Levine, if she was the most qualified for the position that she has, I don't care what she identifies as. I don't care if she identifies as a horse. If she has the wherewithal, the knowledge, the ability to do the best job. She did what Andrew Cuomo did. She put COVID positive patients in nursing homes and killed people. So you tell me Joe Biden didn't bring on Dr. Rachel Levine simply to check off the transgender box? Go ahead. Argue that with me. Call me. Tell me she was the most qualified. She had the best resume. That's why he brought her in. No, it's not. No, it is not. You are a fool if you think that. You are an absolute nut job who shouldn't be voting, but you have the right to, so go ahead and vote. You aren't the only one. Pretty soon, everybody coming in through that porous border down in the Mexico, Arizona, or wherever the border's open, and it's going to be, whoever comes in through that porous border is going to be able to vote. MS-13 gang members from Guatemala will be able to vote. This is where we're headed. This is where the left is taking us. And Janet Mills, our governor, is a party to it. Oh, it's for the greater good. Oh, I go on Channel 6. I commented on something on Channel 6 this morning. They were talking about AOC, why they waited 2 weeks to do this story about AOC saying, oh, I'm traumatized. I can't get over it. January 6th, I can't get over it. So they post this nice story. AOC is traumatized over this. And I posted, this is the same woman who wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning worried about climate change. This is the same mook, and they'll have to look the word mook up, I'm sure. But I'm sure they've already come back. Look for my comment on there under the AOC story on News Center, Maine, and see how many people have come back at me and called me somebody who doesn't care about the climate or about the insurgents in Washington, and I don't care about the politicians and the adorable AOC because they're all woke people. They're all woke people on Woke Center, Maine. They are mere children. They don't know what's good for them. They don't know what's good for the country. They want free stuff. They want life to be easier for them. I've got news for you. Life isn't easy. Life can really suck sometimes. And if you think these mindless, power-grabbing, gun-grabbing people are going to make life better for you in the long term, you are a fool. You are a Kool-Aid drinking, a Kool-Aid swilling fool. The leftist ideology is mental, it's tantamount to mental incompetence. Can I put it in any plainer terms than that? Twitter, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here a little bit. So Dr. Rachel Levine, the Assistant Secretary for Health, not the most qualified. She killed people in New Jersey. Or Pennsylvania, what was it? New Jersey, right? I think she's from New Jersey. So anyway, she is high mucky-muck in the Health and Human Services Department under Joe Biden, and she's transgender, which was posted a man, and this is what families Focus on the Family posted, Dr. Levine is a transgender woman that is a man who believes he is a woman. That is the post. And because, I don't know, because they used an incorrect pronoun, because they stated the truth, because it hurt. Because it hurt. You aren't allowed to be hurt unless you're a conservative Christian. Then the gloves are off. We can excoriate Christians and you stupid conservatives, you domestic terrorists. We can excoriate you all day long because you deserve it. In fact, Nicole Wallace say we should be the target of a drone strike. How about that? How about that? This is the news. This is Chuck Todd's no editorializing news on MSNBC. A drone strike on President Trump and his supporters. How's that? How about that? That's what they think of us. Twitter consequently suspended the Daily Citizen's account and demanded they remove their tweet. Now, the Daily Citizen, I guess, is part of Focus on the Family. Focus on the Family president Jim Daly responded to the incident on his blog. He said, as I've noted before, big tech titans are the new emperors of the 21st century, wielding an inordinate amount of power by silencing individuals and organizations that don't comport or cave to their political or social point of view. And we've seen them do it to their own. We've seen them eat their own. This is what they do. They don't care about anybody but themselves. Nobody but looking out for number one. Now, I'm all for that in an individualistic society where we do what we want to do, take care of who we want to take care of. But when the mob mentality speaks and they tell you who you can and cannot accept, who you can or cannot like, who you can or cannot patronize, they did it with Goya Foods. You can't patronize Goya Foods anymore. Why? Do you remember why that was? Do you remember why they did the boycott Goya Foods campaign? You know why they did that? No, it wasn't because Goya Foods is an immigrant-founded successful company here in the United States. You'd think they would love that because they're all about supporting all immigrants, especially the illegal ones. Come on in. We welcome everybody. Come on in. Our borders are open. We have all this land, all this free stuff. We want to give you health care. We want to give you school. We want to give you employment. To hell with other Americans who are suffering because of COVID. You're suffering too. You deserve a break, right? So that's their mindset. So Goya Foods said, we should be thankful thank God we have a president. I'm paraphrasing here. Thank God we have a president like Donald Trump. That's it. That's it. It was like a one-line thing the president of Goya Foods said. One line praising President Trump for what he was doing. And he was boycotted. And that just like all leftist boycotts, because they're all rage and no thought behind any of the rage. The knee-jerk reactions are what really give me a kick on most of these guys and girls out there on social media who identify with the far left. They see something that pisses them off and they get right, boycott these. And it always backfires. Always Goya Food went through the roof. It just took off. I'd never bought Goya Foods. I'd heard of them, never seen them, never looked for them. I started, when this happened, I started looking for Goya Foods. Found them. How about that? Nice job, leftists. We need more leftists boycotting companies that are good, wholesome, all-American companies. Because that usually makes them do better. Because we detest tyranny. All right, let's see. What do we got here? The woke tried to boycott Goya. Yeah, right. You bet it delivered their best year. They had a great year. They sure did. God bless America. God bless the immigrants who came here to start a life, came here to assimilate, came here for the right reasons, and they made it. By the way, if you missed this yesterday, if there are any woke people listening now, I just want to repeat this. This isn't part of the show, but I want to repeat it. You can find it at legacy1160.com/FPR. The story is in there somewhere. Immigrant women. Okay, here you go. Here goes the narrative. How women and minorities make less money than white men. Immigrant women make more money in this country than white men do. Immigrant women of color mostly, make more money than white men in America. Okay, go. Your move. Give me some facts. Give me some stats. Crickets. When they talk about white privilege, when they talk about systemic racism, they are an echo chamber. They don't know the facts. They know nothing. They know maybe one or two black guys who had it rough. And they tell them, well, I had it real rough. So they say, yeah, systemic racism, it lives. But we look at the big picture, don't we? Don't we look at the whole picture, the whole big picture? I'm not saying there are some people of all races who have a hard time. I mean, why couldn't white people in communities that are oppressed by democratic rule, why couldn't they say racist? Why couldn't they? There can be racism in all races, but it's mostly limited to the Democratic Leftist Party. Mostly. All you got to do is look around. All you got to do is research a little bit. Look at your states. Look at your cities with the biggest problems with Antifa and BLM, with the most problem with homelessness. Look at San Francisco. Look at Chicago. Look at Seattle. Look at Portland. Look at New York. Look at Atlanta. Look at them. All Democrat-run cities. Look at Los Angeles. All Democrat-run cities. All of them. Most, if not all, Democrat-run governors, too. Democrat governors. So, you better be careful. I said, and I mean it, too. I am going to see what happens. I'm going to make a meme today. We may not be on this platform tomorrow. You may have to find us on YouTube. Let me give you the heads up on that right now. You may have to look on YouTube or go to legacy1160.com and you can listen to the audio or watch the YouTube video, which will be streaming there. Because today, I am telling you right now, look for it and you can share it if you dare to. I don't know if I'm warning you right now, you might not want to share it if you don't want to be thrown in jail, Facebook. But I don't care. I do not care anymore. Do to me what you will. So, I'm going to do a meme with Sheila Jackson Lee, the author of H.R. 127, that would annihilate the Second Amendment. And I'm going to put these two things on the picture of Sheila Jackson Lee. First of all, I'm going to find the worst picture of her I can. And I'm going to put H.R. 127 with a swastika, and I am going to post it, and I am going to see how long it takes for that thing to be taken down. That is my afternoon snowy day project. Look for it. It will be there. And I'm going to share it I'm not going to share it on all my pages. I don't own one of them, but I'm going to share it on the other ones. It won't go on Legacy 1160's Facebook page. It will not go on Right America Media's Facebook page. It will go on American Women Who Bear Arms, Freedom's Pep Rally, and my personal page. Because Sheila Jackson Lee, unlike Donald Trump, is the definition of a Nazi. Because they throw that term around like it means nothing. Now, of course, she's not a Nazi in the sense that she has killed Jewish people or yet anybody for their religion, although I think she probably would like to kill a lot of Christians and, Catholics and Baptists and, all of the Christians. She probably would like to do that because we're all part of the problem. But she hasn't said that yet. But that's basically what she's doing by annihilating the Second Amendment, by literally taking guns out of most everybody's hands. And you think I'm being overly dramatic about that? No, I'm not. No, I am not. Coming up, as I said, we've got Colin Noir, our Black Voices Matter series. He's an attorney. He used to be with NRA TV. He's a huge gun rights guy, and he sounds some very scary alarms. And he thinks this could pass. And when Colin Noir, an attorney who is a huge gun owner, says that, sorry, it sort of puts a little bit of fear in my soul, in my heart, in my mind. Hard telling if that thing ever passed, what would happen. Do I think that bill passing could possibly be the turning point? Yeah, I do. I'm not going to say what I think. Could go two ways. It could go, oh yes, we'll comply. Don't hurt us. Don't hurt us. We'll comply. Then we're going to end up like Cuba or Venezuela or England or New Zealand. Right? No guns. Now they're doing knife bans in England. That's what we'll either wind up like that or it's going to be the impetus of something that, as is clear by the fence around the Capitol, the left doesn't want to see, and they are, in fact, afraid of. That could be the impetus. They are pushing. We're telling them, don't keep pushing us. Now, are we doing what Obama did? Are we just drawing that red line and we keep moving it? Or are the people, in fact, going to rise up? Now, I'm not advocating for anything. I'm just saying, at some point, this is going to turn one way or the other. And it's not going to be good. Either way it turns is not going to be good, but they just cannot leave well enough alone. And it is good enough. It is good enough. We can improve what we've got. Guns owned by law-abiding citizens are not killing people every day. They are not even injuring people every day. The biggest number of gun casualties in this country, 2/3. In fact, do you know this statistic? 2/3 of gun deaths in this country are suicide. 2/3. What does that tell you? There's some mental health issues out there, aren't there? What's happening to the mental? Well, I mean, have you been through Augusta lately? Have you been through Augusta? Believe me, I used to do, and I'm not dissing Augusta at all, but I mean, the mental health care for mental health in this city, in this state, has gone down the toilet. We used to have a big place here called AMHI, the Augusta Mental Health Institute, which was full of people who lived there. They were kept off the streets to keep themselves safe and to keep others safe from them. Now, I used to do a series down on the waterfront in Augusta for years and years. I would say 20 years. I did this concert series. And let me tell you, there were a lot of people who would not come to the concerts because of the people who showed up. Now, I'm not saying they were dangerous, but they were a little off-putting, a little scary, some of them. So there are mental health issues. We recognize that. There are suicides. 2/3 of gun deaths in this country are suicides. Well, see, if we took No, it's not going to change anything if you take the guns away. Not going to change a thing. People find a different way to kill themselves. What you've got to do is find out why this is happening, and you've got to try to solve the problem. A little intervention, maybe? I don't know. Maybe somebody's just had enough. And it doesn't matter how they do it, they're just going to do it. Very sad, tragic. But you don't upend the Constitution of the United States of America to stop a problem that is personal to each individual. So 1/3 of the gun deaths are from, I don't know, mass shooters, justified shootings by police, justified shootings by homeowners, by rape victims, MS-13 gang members. That's a good number of them. And how many of these gun deaths are caused by the evil assault rifle? How many? How many are caused by the evil assault rifle? How many are caused by long guns, period? An assault rifle is considered a long gun, a rifle, a shotgun, all considered long guns. Less than 3%. Under 3%. So you get rid of assault rifles, the evil assault rifles, because they look evil. What is it going to do? Nothing. Zero. Zip. These people are fools. And they're convincing the people who they rule. They're leftist, Kool-Aid drinking nut jobs. They're left-wing nutcase followers that we've got to do something about assault weapons. They don't. They are responsible for such a minuscule amount of gun deaths in this country. It's not even going to make a difference. Not even going to make a difference. What this is a slippery slope. They start there because they know they can get their people being all the idiots on Facebook who are always tweeting out, guns are bad, guns are evil, guns kill, we've got to get rid of assault weapons. They are stupid because they don't know the statistics. All they know is what they're being told to echo. And so they do. They echo over and over again like they are wizards. They know about assault rifles, how dangerous they are. No, they don't. Less than 3% of people are killed by long guns, period, a year in this country. And the stats have been going on a downward trend. So where does that leave us? We ban the rifles that look evil because your followers, your Kool-Aid drinking echo chambers will all say, yeah, good, we've got to do that. And then you know what's going to happen to the gun deaths? They're either going to go up or they're not going to decrease much at all. You know why? Because there are other guns out there, because people steal guns. People use guns for bad things. There are justified shootings. There are people who are law-abiding people who want to live, who want to protect their family, who use guns to kill people breaking into their homes, trying to rape them, trying to hurt their children. You want to take the guns out of their hands and leave them in the hands of those who would do harm to us. That's all they're doing. Because the gun deaths are not going to decrease if they outlaw the so-called assault rifles and long guns, which is their long game, by the way. So they're going to say, well, then we're going to have to eliminate all semi-automatic guns. All you can own is a musket, a single-shot gun, or a revolver. Okay, well, that certainly limits it, doesn't it? This is where they're headed with H.R. 127. This is what they want. Actually, you know what they're going to do? They're going to go further than that with H.R. 127, Sheila Jackson Lee, the Nazi. You know why? Because nobody, you and I, aren't going to be able, if we abide by their draconian rules, their stupid, foolish rules, do you know what? You and I aren't going to be able to afford to own guns. Not because we can't afford to buy them, but because we can't afford, number one, the $800 insurance fee we have to pay to the government yearly in order to keep them. We won't be able to afford the 24 hours of training we are going to have to take to own guns. We are not going to be able to afford the license we have to keep in order to keep guns. And that's just a start. They're going to eliminate some guns, anything 50 caliber or more, gone. My Desert Eagle, gone. You've got a Smith & Wesson 500 revolver, gone. Sorry, you can't own that. How many guns with 50 caliber kill Americans every year? About 0. So why ban them? Because they're mean. They're big and mean. These people are idiots. They're dangerous, and they're trying to rule us. Will not comply, my friend. Stand with me on this. We've got to stand together on this. Together we have a chance. Divided we fail. Sorry, I'm just a little. This HR 127 is not to be believed. We're going to get into it. We've got Coley and Noir coming up. You've got to hear this. Stick around. It's next. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally. And we've got to take a break. As soon as we get a break together, we all set? Okay, we'll be right back.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Sales and service by a family who cares. Whittemore and Sons, Whittemore and Sons.
There are some things you can simply never depend on, like getting your morning coffee just the way you like it every day. I mean, you order it the same way. How is it different today? But know that you can always count on Whittemore & Sons in our line of Coyote tractors. Coyote tractors are machines made to work, whether it's mowing, tilling, digging, lifting, or hauling. Check out the full line of tough and versatile Coyote tractors, attachments, implements, and accessories at Whittemore & Sons, your Coyote tractor dealer, with dependable sales in service for over 50 years. Run ahead of the pack with a Coyote tractor from Whittemore & Sons on the Waterville Road in Skowhegan. Sales and service by a family who cares.
From work to fun, we'll help you get it done. Whittemore & Sons. Outdoor power equipment.
At most dealerships, used vehicles are in short supply, and the vehicles that they do have are priced as though they're made of solid gold. At Darling's in Augusta and Brunswick, we have a great selection of quality used vehicles to choose from at prices to fit almost any budget. In fact, we have a large selection of inspected vehicles that are priced below $12,000. Put your tax return to good use and drive away in a reliable vehicle with low monthly payments. Darling's team of professionals take pride in finding the right vehicle for you, regardless of your credit history or prior financial concerns. We take the time to listen to your needs, and we won't rest until you find exactly what you're looking for. Choose from over 500 vehicles in stock right now at Darling's. Visit us online at darlings.com or stop by to see us today in Augusta or at our newest location in Brunswick. You'll do better at Darlings.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Matt Honig. Snow and wind this morning will taper to snow showers this afternoon. Most towns come away with a solid 6 to 12 inches of snow when all is said and done. Clouds will persist tonight, perhaps even a few light snow showers, but we will see conditions improve tomorrow. Just a mostly cloudy sky and temperatures in the 30s.
Your time for a little fun.
Okay, all right. That was a real mess. Just the gun shop. They're the sponsor. Let the gun shop.
Your
go.
pep rally for freedom is back. Powered by the Gun Shop in Augusta on Coney Circle.
Yeah.
Now here's John James.
Go and see my friends. Garrett and Cody and Adam and Crystal, and they're just great in the gun shop. I told you I was in there, picked up 2 AR-15s on Saturday, and I paid for neither of them. I went shopping with a friend of mine, and that was great. Manny, my friend out there in California, asked the question, why do you love your gun so much? And no, it's a fair question. Then somebody called him on it and said, why not? And he said, just curious, not being sarcastic. No, that's a very fair question. Well, there are a bunch of reasons. I haven't always been a huge lover of guns. I love the collectability of them. I love the way they're made. I love the machining. I literally do. And I'm being serious now. I think they are a perfectly made tool, instrument. So I enjoy that aspect of them. And that's why I have a bunch. Because really, when it comes right down to it, how many guns do you really need? Believe me, I've been asked that before. Well, here's the old gun, the old response to an age-old gun question. How many guns do you have? Well, I got 12. Well, you need more. Why? Well, if you know how many guns you've got, then you don't have enough. So point is, I enjoy collecting them. This is it's like baseball. They're very expensive baseball cards, by the way. And, some guns. I saw a gun on on this PBS thing the other night where my wife was watching it. And this guy had a revolver from like 18-something. And he picked it up for a couple of $100. And he thought maybe it would sell for $1,000. And it was like a $20,000 or $30,000 return on this gun. So there's and obviously I'm not going to live for any of my new guns to become antiques and worth money. Maybe some of my ancestors will if the country lasts that long. But I also love the fact that I can. Oh, now if I wasn't a collector, if I didn't like the machining, if I wasn't drawn to them as a collector's piece, then 1 or 2 or 3 guns would be enough. For carry, for hunting, for at home defense. That would be enough. And I would own those just because I'm allowed to, because I can. Well, no, I'm not allowed to. That's a creator given right. So it's not like anybody's allowing me to. I do because I can. And because it is a tool to protect my family and myself. So there is another reason. Now, whether you're a gun nut or just a gun advocate, or somebody who could care less either way, I would hope you could admit that, this is a constitutional right. Whether you believe in a creator or not, it's a right that we have as humans to self-defense, and we do not have to use inferior tools to what the tools that people who are breaking the law use. And they oftentimes, more often than not, use guns, even in little old Maine. These people showed a gun, whether they're loaded or not. That's not something you want to take a chance on. Well, the thing's probably not even loaded, probably a toy. Yeah, you go ahead. You try to figure that out. Unless it's got a plastic orange tip on the end of it, I'm not taking any chances. Sorry. It's a right. That's why I own any guns. Why I own so many is just I like guns. I don't know. I don't know, just something in me. Like some people like baseball cards. Some people like fine china. Some people like to collect wine bottles. I like guns. Different kinds. Odd guns. I like the odd guns. In the odd calibers. That's why I have a Desert Eagle. 50 caliber action. Well, it's 50. They're different. Caliber is the diameter. There are different, size rounds. This is not the biggest 50 caliber. It's a 50 caliber AE, which is Action Express, which as far as I know only works in the Desert Eagle, but it's 50 caliber and it would be illegal under Sheila Jackson Lee's bill, which I think Max or somebody told me that there are no sponsors for that bill yet. But they haven't really gotten into the gun control thing yet. And Manny says, wow, weird. We agree. I think we probably agree on quite a bit, Manny. We had Manny on a couple of weeks ago, and he's a Democrat. I assume he's a Democrat. I assume you're a Democrat, Manny. So we were talking about that because you're living in Los Angeles there, and he was talking about tyrant Gavin Newsom himself. So yeah, I think we probably agree on quite a bit, and I'm sure there's a lot we disagree on. But the gun thing is something I think that's what you're referring to. You probably agree on. Now, if anybody owns a gun, I think, and I will say this every time I talk about guns, I always try to preface it with saying, if you decide to own a gun, it's your right to go buy. You can go buy a gun today, and you can carry it with you as soon as you walk out of the store. However, I would caution you to take a class to learn about it, to take safety. I'm not going to say just because there's constitutional carry in Maine that you shouldn't learn all you can before you carry it around. You do that for yourself. You do that for others. You do that for the people you love in your life. You learn how to store it. You learn how to take care of it. Too many times people who really shouldn't own a gun because they haven't really learned much about them, they store it improperly. They think, oh, I'm going to put this by my bedstand. Then a kid picks it up, and the worst happens. It just happened in, I think it was Waterville recently. A kid shot himself or someplace. It was a local area. Horrible, horrible incident. I think the gun owner was charged, actually, as I think was right. Manny says, I'm left-leaning. Well, I'll put that up on the screen there. Left-leaning, but not... Okay, I'm glad I asked that because I didn't want to label you without questioning it. Not necessarily a Democrat. Don't get me started on Newsom. Want him recalled. Yeah, they're working on that, aren't they? I don't know what you've got going out there, what the process looks like, but and I guess there's somebody who's trying to run to replace him. Now, I have no idea who that is. I just saw it in passing in a story last night. 10:53 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. See, I've got this same problem that I have, it seems, every hour. Things disappear from my screen. We do have a break coming up, but I think I'm good right now. We got time for another thing? Okay, good. 10:53 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. 207-441-6969. 207-441-6969. That is the text line. If you want to call us, 207-621-9759. The number to call. We're going to get into the we'll get into the HR 127 next hour because once we get into it, we're going to have to delve into it. I've got a piece by Coley and Noir I want you to hear. And Dick Durbin is this could be your first co-sponsor. Dick Durbin saying he's going to make gun control a priority now. It's going to be a top priority. Now that the dust is starting to settle, if Joe Biden can stop signing executive orders for 2 minutes, we'll see what happens. Okay. Let me see. I had something here about there was a woman. It's on the website. You might have to. I don't know if I put it in. Now the thing is, I'm getting confused about things I put on the website and things I include in my show prep. There was a thing, a transgender girls being called out for being allowed now by Joe Biden to compete in girls' sports. Girls naturally calling foul on that, as they should. And I thought I had something on it in the show prep, but I guess I don't. So what we'll do is we'll take a break here right now, and we'll be back after the top of the hour, and we'll get into the gun control thing and more. If you want to find any of the stories we talk about, just go to legacy1160.com/FPR, and you'll find them all right there. I'm John James.
WSKW. Legacy 1160.
Electrical repair should never be done without the knowledge of how to do it safely. Better yet, skip that stress and let Kennebec Electric and Lighting take care of it for you. Kennebec Electric has offered professional electric and lighting service and expert installation in homes and businesses for over 37 years, and they stand behind that experience with a guarantee on all their work. Kennebec Electric and Lighting. Contact them for all your electric and lighting servicing, including installations and repairs at 861-7028 or online at KennebecElectric.com.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Matt Honig. Snow and wind this morning will taper to snow showers this afternoon. Most towns come away with a solid 6 to 12 inches of snow when all is said and done. Clouds will persist tonight, perhaps even a few light snow showers, but we will see conditions improve tomorrow. Just a mostly cloudy sky and temperatures in the 30s.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Jim Ryan. Several federal agents were shot this morning while serving a warrant on a child pornography suspect in South Florida. Some of the agents were told were gravely wounded. A major days-long winter storm has hit the Northeast, and forecasters say it's not done yet. At least 2 feet of snow fell in parts of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z.
We still have this slow-moving nor'easter that will drop a couple more inches. You have winter storm alerts all the way from Tennessee, western North Carolina, up to Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont.
The storm has delayed COVID-19 vaccine shipments. Many locations offering the vaccine were closed for at least 2 days. In a written submission to the U.S. Senate, former President Trump must answer the impeachment charge in writing by noon Eastern Time today. Battle of the Groundhogs. Punxsutawney Phil says 6 more weeks of winter. New York Staten Island Chuck predicts an early spring. This is ABC News. The economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic is hitting women in Italy particularly hard. ABC's Megan Williams has the story from Rome.
In the last month of 2020, more than 100,000 jobs were lost here in Italy. And newly released statistics show 98% of those jobs were women's jobs.
We knew that this was happening,
says Italian economist Azzurra Rinaldi of the effect COVID has been having on the already low number of women in the workplace in Italy. Of the jobs lost since the onset of COVID, 70% have been female. Rinaldi is part of a movement pushing for half of the $200 billion EU Recovery Fund to be directed towards helping more women. Megan Williams, ABC News, Rome.
And the coronavirus may be chasing gamblers away from Super Bowl bets. The American Gaming Association says it expects bets on the game will be down this year because fewer people are going to casinos. There aren't as many people in offices to take part in office pools. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
I'm Joel, co-founder of the company behind SuperBeets. I'm excited to share with you our newest product, SuperBeets Heart Chews, which includes clinically researched grapeseed extract, shown to be 2 times as effective at supporting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone.
Get a free 30-day supply of SuperBeets Chews, plus a free 30-day supply of Super Grapes with your first purchase when you shop at getsuperbeets.com/sky. That's getsuperbeets.com/sky.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
It's time for a little fun, a few laughs, and a whole lot of truth.
Right.
The John James Show is on Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Hello. Welcome back to here. Okay. It's 11 o'clock. We got into that break a little early. That is the first time I think we've gotten into a top of the hour early. So we pretty much have a whole hour here. Kind of nice. Thank you. I posted a comment my friend Manny left me. That's really nice. That's real nice what he posted. We don't always agree on things, but that's okay. He says in his post, appreciate the dialogue, and I actually have a cup of coffee with you every morning, whether you know it or not. Have a blessed day, my old friend. That's nice. That's nice. That really made my day, Manny. Thank you. That means a lot to me. And we're going to get into the whole gun control thing here. I started talking about a transgender thing that is brewing with Biden's new saying, because Joe Biden is not moderate anymore. He is not moderate anymore. Joe Biden, I'm not sure he's ever really been able to think for himself. He's always been wishy-washy. He's not a strong man. He really isn't a strong man. He's a wimp. He's a wimpy man. He does whatever it takes to make people happy, make the people he wants to make happy, happy. And he's so worried he's going to take and really make the far left, the AOCs and the Rashida Tlaibs and the Chuck Schumers, and he's going to make them angry at him. And he doesn't want to make them angry. So he's going to say, we're going to allow transgender girls to play girls' sports. That's, we've got to do that. It's a human right. Joe Biden is such an idiot. I mean, if for no other reason, is that not an idiot? Good morning, Derica. I mean, that's idiotic. Think about that. You've got a daughter, and she's, spent her first 2 years of high school as the top runner. And now all of a sudden, a transgendered girl who is now allowed to play because Joe Biden says you have to. Public schools, government runs them, government puts down the edicts. You pay attention, you listen, you do what we say. Because they're all about big government rules. So he says, if you're a boy who thinks he's a girl, then you play with the girls. So now my daughter, who's on her way to a scholarship at the university of her choice, all of a sudden, she's no longer in the running because suddenly you've got 2 transgender females who are biological males. Sorry, that's the truth. Sorry, Twitter, cancel me. We're broadcasting on Twitter. Cancel me. They're biological males. I don't care what they identify as. Science. Now they're beating my daughter, and so she's not going to get the scholarship she has worked her butt off to get because these guys are now girls, and they're now beating her in every race, and that happens. That does happen. Happening a lot more than you know. Big story came out in Connecticut a year ago about it happening. That's infringing on my rights. Sorry. You don't get to do that, Joe. Well, yeah, you do, because Democrats don't give a crap about the Constitution. How did they get away with usurping the founding documents every step of the way? How do they get away with it? They wonder why they're afraid of domestic terrorists. Okay, well, Katie Tur, who was it? Nicole Wallace, MSDNC, they're all the same. They're like one mind, and they're different people. But they're one mind. Oh, yeah, this would justify a drone attack on these domestic terrorists. You mean the people who love America and love constitutionality and who want us to stay true to the Constitution? Those who don't want to usurp the Constitution? Those who don't want to take away rights? You mean those domestic terrorists? They're going to keep pushing. They're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, taking away more and more and more, and then they're going to learn what a domestic terrorist looks like. They think they know. $11:06. Cheating is the dem way, Karen says. Yeah. I don't know how they do it. I'm not clear on a lot of what the Democrats are able to do that goes against the founding documents. I don't understand how they do it. Here's a case in point. Let's talk about guns. Then I did find a transgender story that blows my mind, but it's a sign of the times. And it's unfair to women. See, people, you're anti-woman. You don't want women to make a choice. Why do people keep doing that? Stop doing that to me. Stop telling me I'm against women making their own choice for their own bodies, No, stop that. No, I am not. Women can choose whatever they want, so long as it doesn't interfere with another's constitutional rights. Sorry, it is my belief as a Christian, and it's my right to believe as a Christian, and as a human being, and as a lover of science, believe it or not, that an unborn fetus, no matter how small, even if it's just a so-called clump of cells, is on a trajectory from the moment of fertilization to become maybe a great human being. So it is not a woman's choice. It is a decision to kill another life. That is murder. Stop telling me I'm against women's rights to choose. I am not. You are an accomplice to murder. If you say, well, it's her choice, she can have an abortion if she wants, stop telling me I'm not for a woman's choice. I am more than you, probably. And I am all about women when it comes to this transgender sports. Wholly unfair to women. So I've got a case in point coming up. But I wanted to give you a case in point about what I don't understand about how so easily the Democrats push back against the Constitution and do things that are unconstitutional all the time. Guns are a constitutional right, correct? Correct. So states can make their own constitutions within the confines of the Constitution of the United States. And what that means, in layman's terms, is states can make their own rules which may grant a citizen more rights on certain issues than are granted by the Constitution, but they cannot diminish any constitutionally guaranteed rights, which means they can't undermine the Second Amendment, right to keep and bear arms. That's what it says. Yet, states all over it, Virginia, New York, California, Washington, they all limit the rights of people to own guns. You can't own this gun. You can't own that gun. You have to have a background check for ammunition. You have to have a 10-day waiting period for a gun. But I need it now. My spouse, my ex-spouse is coming after me. I need the gun now. My kids. Nope, sorry, you got to wait 10 days. How do they usurp the Constitution? How do they do that? And it's law in these states. They have taken the Constitution, they have taken the law of the founding documents, and they have made it narrower. They have made the bar higher in order to be able to do certain things, in order to carry a gun. You should be able to carry a gun without a permit if you want to, if you're a law-abiding citizen in all 50 states. You should. You should be able to. But you can't. Washington, D.C., not a state yet, you can't even carry a gun without a lot of money and a really high burden of proof that you need it. How do they do that? That's not constitutional, but they seem to get it. The Democrats are wizards. They're brilliant when it comes to getting around the Constitution. The First Amendment, they get around that all the time. They stifle free speech for us, but any free speech is okay for them. Nothing is hate speech for them, unless they say something nice about Donald Trump or a conservative, and then they're canceled by the left. See how that works? It's mindless. It's backwards. It's idiotic. It's stupid. There is your leftists. That's where they are. That's who they are. They don't think with their brain. They think with feelings. Never have that song ready when I want to use it. Okay, so we'll get to guns. We'll get to Colin Noir, but I want to do this transgender thing. It's not the one I wanted, but I found it, and I had it for a while, and I've been wanting to do it. A biological male who identifies as a woman. Now, this is a man who identifies as a woman. He goes by the name J.C. Cooper. He has filed a lawsuit. And this maybe this has been decided. This is a little older, this story, but you can look it up. He filed a lawsuit, or she filed. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize if I use the wrong pronouns, because I'm ill-equipped to remember all the different politically correct things. So I'm going to be politically incorrect, unintentionally or intentionally sometimes, and so be it. So anyway, this powerlifter, this transgendered female, filed a lawsuit to force USA Powerlifting to let him compete with biological women who already face extreme disadvantages in this kind of sport. To add insult to injury, Cooper was a former junior national champion in curling before he stopped competing due to gender dysphoria. Now, according to The Hill, Cooper overcame his gender dysphoria using prescribed medications, likely cross-sex hormones, and then wanted to return to the sport. Well, Joe Biden and his merry men and women, whatever other merry people identify as, are wanting to make it so everybody can compete in anything they want. And I believe they pretty much have now. That's part of the Harris-Biden plan. I put Harris first because you know it's only a matter of time. Real women will never win at anything, thank you leftists. Because there are biological differences. Again, science. Now, does that go the other way too? So, see, this is so very confusing because, and I'm going to say it, it's unnatural. Now, I don't have a problem with gay people. I don't have a problem with lesbian people. I don't have a problem with that. Some conservatives do. Some ministers do. And they preach some vitriolic sermons about them. Not their place to judge, for one thing. Not any way to lead people to God, for another. But that's another topic for another time. But I have no problems, because you know what? Gay people, they love somebody of the same gender, but they're true to their gender. Right? Yeah, so they can't help who they love, right? I'd buy that. I'll buy that. But if you're gonna butt heads with science and say, well, I'm now a woman, and you think that taking a few drugs and having a few parts removed or put on are going to make you that gender, you've got another think coming. Sorry. I don't buy it. And I'm not going to conform to that way of thinking. Not going to do it. I will use the preferred pronouns. I will try to be polite. In public society, I will try to be polite. But I'm still, it's still not natural, not buying it. And yes, the DHS doctor from New Jersey who killed people in a nursing home like Andrew Cuomo did, who Joe Biden put on his team because he gets to check off another box, a virtue signaling box, is in fact a man who wants to be a woman. And Focus on the Family got banned from Twitter because they spoke the truth. And it was hurtful. That's how they justify it. It was hurtful. Well, as I always like to say, life can suck sometimes. Life hurts sometimes. Suck it up, Buttercup. Get used to it. So guns. All right. Got a great piece by Coley and Noir coming up. I want to start out with this Dick Durbin, tricky Dick Durbin, wants to make gun control a priority. Says he's going to make it a priority. We don't want to waste any time dismantling the Constitution, of course. Makes sense that their biggest threat is an armed citizenry. And once they take care of that, the country is done. The country is done. Okay, Manny, by the way, I see what you're saying, Manny. Manny is saying about climate change, how when it comes to climate change, the left claims science, but the right denies it. No, that's not true, Manny. There is a book. Hold on a second. Let me get you. I want you to read a book. I want to give everybody a book to read. This is an assignment, and I want to make sure I get the author's name correct. That's it. The book is called Inconvenient Facts, and it is science, and it will show you how the left is using this to control us. And I want you to know now. Manny's a smart guy, so I want you to read this. The guy's name is Gregory Wrightstone, Wrightstone. Great book, Inconvenient Facts: The Science Al Gore Doesn't Want You to Know. And it's available. You can get it on Audible. You can get a book from Amazon. Get it on Audible and start listening today, or reading today if you get the e-edition. So it's called Inconvenient Facts. So no, I don't deny science. I just believe the science that is contrary to scientist Al Gore, because there is a history of climate changing throughout. And here's another. This is an even quicker assignment for Manny and anybody who is wondering about climate change. Look up, Google this. Google climate scare 1922. One of the things that is going to come up is Snopes. Go ahead and click on Snopes, and Snopes will show you that this is absolutely true. It's not, partly true. It's not false. It's true. It says true that back in 1922, and there was an article about this that we played last week. Scientists were reading it, and it sounded like they were reading something about today. The ice caps are melting. The fish are moving north. There's land where there used to be ice in the Arctic. The ocean temperatures are rising. 1922. 100 years later, we're in the same cycle. And then this book, Inconvenient Facts. I think you're gonna like that. You'll get a lot out of it. You'll at least get a different perspective. I've read Al Gore's book, An Inconvenient Truth. And I also read Inconvenient Facts. Trust me, Inconvenient Facts makes a hell of a lot more sense. 11:20 now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. So Dick Durbin said, quote, "Today I had the chance to speak with a group of gun violence prevention advocates from across the country. I told them that reducing gun violence will be a top priority in the Senate Judiciary, and I will never stop fighting for gun safety." Now, the Dems have a slim majority in the Senate. Kamala Harris is able to cast the tie-breaking vote if there is a tie. So a partisan split that makes sweeping new gun control legislation is going to be difficult. But Durbin controls the Judiciary Committee. That will allow him to shape America's legal landscape. Chuck Grassley of Iowa, the committee's top Republican, said he hopes Durbin will pursue similar gun initiatives to the past Congress instead of attempting to push through sweeping liberal changes. You know what? How about, Chuck? How about, Dick? We don't make any changes to gun laws. How about we enforce the gun laws we've got? How about we do that, Chuck and Dick? Another quote, "Unduly abridging or regulating those rights, especially if it's through strictly partisan process, is wrong." Chuck Grassley told the Free Beacon that. "I hope if Senator Durbin chooses to focus on the issue, it will be with bipartisan consensus-building approach." And Probably not. Not given that H.R. 127 is now at the forefront of gun control bills. I'm not sure what else there is. We finally have the text of it. We talked about it yesterday. Colleen Noir is going to talk about it now. Colleen Noir, one of our Black Voices Matter series speakers, U.S. attorney. I'm sorry, not a U.S. He's an attorney in the U.S. I want to be specific there. He's also a big gun rights advocate, big gun owner, was a face of the NRA TV, when that was a thing. And he talks about Sheila Jackson Lee's H.R. 127. Not only does he raise red flags about what's in the bill, but he thinks it has a chance of passing. If it passes and you own guns, you'll have two choices. Turn all your guns in or take out a second mortgage. Or lose them in a boating accident. Here is Colleen Noir. Listen to this. This is all true. It echoes a lot of what we said yesterday, and this guy's emphatic. Colleen Noir.
Not too long ago, I did a video about Texas House Representative Sheila Jackson Lee introducing H.R. 127, which is a gun control bill that would require gun licensing, registration, and a partial ammunition ban. At the time, the text of the bill wasn't available, but the text is available now, and it's pure grade A unadulterated f***ery. Normally, I'd read a bill like this and just smirk because I knew it would have a hard time passing. That's not the case now because the Democrats have the House, the Senate, and the White House, and they're going for broke. Remember when I did that video about universal background checks and I said that the real goal of a universal background check was to use it as an excuse to create a gun registry? Well, Sheila Jackson just said, playing coy, we have the House, the Senate, and the White House. Let's just put our top dollars on the table and just require registration outright. And that's exactly what H.R. 127 does. This bill will require you to send a list to the ATF of every make, model, and serial number of every single gun you own and buy. You'll also have to tell the government where you'll be storing each gun, and you'll have 3 months to do all of this. But here's where it gets real sexy. All that information you just gave to the government, including where you'll be keeping all of your guns, will be accessible to the public. That means Pookie, Chan, Chester, and Eduardo will not only know what guns you have, they'll know exactly where you keep them. This isn't a registry, it's a shopping list for criminals because they now know exactly where to go and what to look for when they come and rob you because they'll have a list of all of your guns in a PDF file. Understand that there are 400 million guns in this country. The government has to hire people to log all of that data. Guess where they're going to go to get the money to do this? You. So congratulations. Not only will you be forced to tell criminals exactly where your guns are, you paid to do it. The bill will also require that you have a license to simply possess a gun and ammunition. And if you're 18, 19, or 20, you can go to war, you can get married and start a family, but you can't protect your family because you won't be able to get this license unless you're 21. To get this license, you have to get a background check, get a psychological evaluation, and complete 24 hours of training. And once you get this license, you have to get an insurance policy. Keep in mind, you already have to get a background check when you buy a gun in the first place. So now you have to do it twice, when you get a license, and again, when you actually go to get a gun. The psychological evaluation will be conducted by a licensed psychologist approved by the Attorney General. Mark Garland is likely to be Biden's Attorney General. This is the same guy who, when a man wanted the right to be able to own a gun in his home, and the court agreed, Merrick Garland wanted the case to be done over again. So I'm sure this psychologist will be incredibly impartial when it comes to deciding who's mentally fit enough to own a firearm. Not carry, but to simply own a firearm. Speaking of impartiality, guess who one of the people the bill requires the psychologist to interview to determine your psychological state? Your ex-wife or ex-husband. So the person who likely isn't too fond of you at best and absolutely hates your guts at worst will now be in a position to strip you of your Second Amendment rights. Oh, and if you've ever been diagnosed and hospitalized for depression, you won't be able to own a gun, even if you admitted yourself to the hospital. Great job, Sheila Jackson Lee. Let's just give people who are struggling with depression an incentive to hide it and not to get the help that they need for fear that they'll have the right to defend themselves taken away from them. Now I want you to ask yourself this question. If I'm a single parent mother working 2 jobs, working 7 days a week just to make ends meet, where am I going to get the time to do 24 hours of training if I want a gun to protect my family living in a crime-ridden neighborhood? That's who these types of training requirements hurt. She loses money when she has to take off of work, and she loses money when she has to pay for this training class. And she still may not even get the license to simply own a gun because her ex-husband, who may have been an abusive, gaslighting psychopath who wants her to remain in a weak position, may end up telling the psychologist during the interview that he believes that she's mentally unfit to own a gun. Not to mention, do you know how much a firearm trainer has to charge to make a course that accumulates to 24 hours worth training economically viable? 12 hours worth of training can cost thousands of dollars. Keep in mind, you have to pay to renew this license every year for 5 years. Then it's every 3 years. And then on top of that, you have to pay the government $800 every year for firearm insurance. Congratulations, Sheila Jackson Lee. You just turned firearm ownership into a luxury only the 1% and the elite can afford. Oh, and I almost forgot. See those guns on the wall behind me? Apparently under HR 127, I won't be able to have those guns up there unless they are antique guns. And I have an antique firearm display license where I've supplied proof that it's an antique and told the government where and how I plan to display the firearm in my own house. And if you own an AR-15 or any semi-auto gun that they think looks scary, you have to get a separate license on top of the general license to own it. But the standard magazine that comes with the gun can't own those because they hold more than 10 rounds. So you have to turn those in. Now I want you to take in all of the rules and regulations and the laws that I just spelled out in this bill. And now I want you to realize that if you happen to break any of these rules, the consequences aren't like getting a ticket. No. You'd be facing up to hundreds and thousands of dollars in fines as well as decades in prison. People, we already have 300 gun laws on the federal level and 20,000 on the state and local level. Tons of people break these laws every day and don't even realize it. And Sheila Jackson Lee wants to add even more laws. This is the 94 crime bill all over again. It's sad because where do you think they're going to enforce these laws? You think they're going to enforce them in the elite, in the rich people's neighborhoods? No. They're going to enforce them in your neighborhood. This bill is pure insanity. And the only reason she can get away with it is because the House, the Senate, and the White House are being run by one party. I know a lot of you are asking, well, what can I do to stop it? The way you stop it is to let your voices be heard. Remember, the people in Congress are voted in, not appointed. So they only do what they think they can get away with. So if you let them know that if they continue with bills like this, that they'll lose your vote, and enough people call, email, and mail letting them know this, trust me, they'll back off. People in Congress don't want to lose their seat. And if they think voting for something like this will jeopardize their reelection, trust me, they'll stay away from it.
Yeah, they will. Colleen Noir, great voice. HR 127. There is a link to it on the website. Go to legacy1160.com/FPR. Frank Percy River. How about Freedom's pep rally? So I'm trying to come up with phonetics to tell you what the letters are, and rather than use what the letters stand for, I'm such a dope. Good grief! It's 11:30. Yeah, the Constitution is my carry permit too. Thank you, Cameron. That's true. Unfortunately, if the law says you can't carry and they catch you, you know that it can be a real funny thing trying to fight City Hall. You know, you got to be willing to. Sadly, isn't it sad when you figure you've got to be willing to give it all to exercise your constitutional rights when the left is trying hard to keep you from doing it? I agree with you, Cameron. I agree that, and luckily we have constitutional carry here in Maine, and Governor Mills has made no attempt to try to overturn it. None. She promised the Sportsmen's Alliance of Maine she would not. And so far she hasn't. So give her a little credit there. However, in a state where you can't carry unless you prove you need to, and you need to take a course and pay. I think a course is a good thing, regardless of whether a permit is needed or not. If you're new to guns, a safety course is excellent. You really should have one. Anybody, left or right, would agree with that. You should take a safety course if you own a gun. So why then is Joe Biden's one of his missions to put the NRA out of business? They are the preeminent gun safety organization in America. That is why they're there. Safe firearms ownership. San Francisco labeled them a terrorist organization. 621-9759. You want to call a voice line? I haven't been watching the phone, sorry. 207-621-9759. 207-441-6969. If you want to reach out on the text line, that would be fine too. So we know the type of people Joe Biden is, but Joe Biden is literally dredging into the swamp to get these people. The State Department's newly installed deputy spokeswoman is a woman named Jelena Porter. She is a former part-time professional cheerleader, Oakland Raiders and some basketball team, I don't know who. She Facebooked in 2016. The largest threat to U.S. national security are U.S. cops. That's what she tweeted. Her comments were made on September 20th, 2016. This is well before defund the police ever started. So that's what she put on Facebook. This was in reference to video footage that was released the day an unarmed black man was shot by police officers in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now we know, and anybody who researches, anybody who cares, anybody who's not just an opportunist and full of rage, who wants to get out there and rage on our government, every time they have a knee-jerk reaction, they don't wait to see the facts. They don't wait for anything. They just know that, this is what happened with George Floyd. Did they wait to see what the extenuating circumstances were? The answer is no. They just needed to hear that a police officer killed a black man, an unarmed black man. It looked very brutal. He was saying, "I can't breathe." He died. Did they wait for any more information to come out? Was he a threat to the officers? Was he resisting arrest? Anything? No. Many of the riots are still going on. This happened in May. Now there is more information out there, but they don't care. They probably don't even know. Probably don't even know about the more information because that's their reason to rage. And they are nothing if they aren't angry all the time. So they're angry all the time. Destructive, destroying. They have no lives other than having fits of rage, destroying things, destroying people. This is what they do. So they are. But they are given a free pass by people like Commie Harris and Joe Biden. But those terrorists that came to the Capitol, whoa. Oh, we've got to deal with them. We've got to put a drone strike on those people. So you've got these people out there who have a knee-jerk reaction. By the way, if you didn't see the whole George Floyd videotape, he was literally saying, "I can't breathe," when he was in the back of the police cruiser. Look for the video. He was saying, I can't breathe, when he was in back of the police cruiser. No, nobody was touching him. He was saying he couldn't breathe. So why couldn't he breathe? Was it because Chauvin, Chauvin, had his knee on his neck? Or was it because he had just taken an overdose of something? Which he apparently did. There's video also, frozen video of him with drugs in his mouth, which he swallowed. So why was he saying he couldn't breathe? Well, you ask any social justice warrior, they're going to say, well, because Chauvin's neck was on, his knee was on his neck. That's why he couldn't breathe. He killed the guy. Maybe he did. That was a bad scene, no matter what. But did that kill him? Well, maybe, maybe not. He was saying he couldn't breathe before a hand was ever laid on him. And by the way, he was resisting arrest every step of the way, and the police officers were being as up until the point where Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck. The police were being as professional, as courteous as they could be, and he would not comply. Would not comply. So the thugs rage on in parts of the country, even today. So this Jelena Porter is now part of the Biden administration. Another box checked. Let me read you her whole tweet from 2016, September 20th. An unarmed black man takes a knee for justice, bigots riot. Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed the comma there. An unarmed black man takes a knee, and I assume, no, I'm not going to assume anything. An unarmed black man takes a knee for justice, bigots riot. So she's talking about, I don't know who she's talking about, bigots riot. Who rioted? She's got to be talking about the loser there from the NFL, right? Took a knee for justice, bigots riot. There were no riots because we don't riot. We do not riot. They riot. They think we riot. We don't riot. An unarmed black man with his hands raised takes a bullet and dies. Those same bigots are silent. Explain this to me, please, Jelena Porter says. She goes on. The largest threat to U.S. national security are U.S. cops. Not ISIS, not Russian hackers, not anyone or anything else. If y'all don't wake up and rise up to this truth, the genocide against blacks in America will continue until we are near extinct. That's not the world I seek to live in or create for myself and those around me. I am calling out the majority because this means you need to take action in your communities, churches, classrooms, and with your members of Congress. We can't do this alone. This racist, bigoted woman is now a part of the Joe Biden upper echelon. And these are the kind of people that Joe chooses to surround himself with. So do we expect any of the decisions, any of the edicts coming out of this administration to make a whole lot of sense? I don't. Nothing he has signed has made a whole lot of sense to me yet. And he's signed over 40 executive orders, more than the last 3 presidential terms combined. No, the last 3 presidents combined. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 7. That'd be 28 years, 24, 28 years. He signed more executive orders. He's been in there a little over a week. And none of them have made any sense whatsoever. According to the Washington Free Beacon, the resurfaced comments from Jelena Porter could complete the State Department's messaging, could complicate the State Department's messaging as it seeks to challenge Iran's nuclear buildup, continue the fight against ISIS, and shape its response to the many ongoing national security threats posed by China, Russia, and the Islamic Republic. She said our cops are more dangerous than ISIS. Remember? More dangerous than ISIS? More dangerous than Russia? More dangerous than hackers? You, actually, the police, you're committing genocide on Black America. That's what she believes. Now she's in a very important position with the Biden administration. Be very afraid of this, I'm telling you. I'll be right back.
AM 1160, WSKW.
You've probably seen them on the road, helping those that need them. And you can rest assured Delta Ambulance will be there when you need them most, too. Delta Ambulance prides themselves on having a team that utilizes superior training, years of experience, and state-of-the-art medical technologies. So if you need safe transportation for routine or critical care transfers, Delta Ambulance is standing by. Learn more about the difference Delta makes at deltaambulance.org. Compassion, leadership, excellence. That's Delta Ambulance.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise. I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Matt Honig. Snow and wind this morning will taper to snow showers this afternoon. Most towns come away with a solid 6 to 12 inches of snow when all is said and done. Clouds will persist tonight, perhaps even a few light snow showers, but we will see conditions improve tomorrow. Just a mostly cloudy sky and temperatures in the 30s.
Your pep rally for freedom is back. Powered by the Gun Shop in Augusta on Coney Circle. Now, here's John James.
Hi. Now, just reading some comments, posting some comments on the video feed. Alany, Cameron, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Got 11:45 on Legacy 1160. See, my voice is feeling tired. And the thing is, after this show, I have to go home and talk some more after I shovel. So, then show prep. Plenty of that. Easy to do the show prep. Hey, more illegal alien favoritism. Yesterday, the Biden administration's Department of Homeland Security stated that illegal immigrants should get vaccinated for the coronavirus. But wait, there's more. DHS also asserted that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials and U.S. Customs and Border Protection will not conduct enforcement operations at or near vaccine distribution sites or clinics. We need to protect the illegals. Make sure they're vaccinated and make sure they don't get caught. Hey, that's real. It's like handcuffing the police. Can you imagine going into every police department across America, taking each cop, handcuffing him, and saying, okay, go do your job? That's the left. That's the left. This is all truth, by the way. This is all true. I'm not making any of this up. This is how they operate. It makes no sense. To you and I, my grandson, who I'm looking forward to playing a game with online later on this afternoon, could make better decisions than these guys and women. So ICE, they will not be able to enforce any illegal alien operations. ICE does not and will not carry out enforcement operations at or near healthcare facilities like hospitals, doctors' offices, accredited health clinics, and emergent or urgent care facilities, except in the most extraordinary circumstances. Like maybe if a guy's coming to set off a vest bomb or something. Maybe then they'll be allowed to. So illegals move to the head of the line because they're illegal and we know it. And we want to protect them so no evil immigration police who are charged with protecting America's interests will be allowed. Well, that makes perfect sense in an upside-down world, doesn't it? $11:48 right now. Mitch McConnell is a turncoat. I don't need to tell you that. Yesterday, he issued a rare public rebuke of a fellow Republican. And it wasn't somebody who's like him. It wasn't somebody who is a rhino or a member of the old GOP. No, it was Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. Yes, he said her embrace of conspiracy theories is a cancer for the party. Oh. Well, he did not mention her by name. The statement was widely interpreted to be directed at Greene, including the congresswoman herself, who fired back a retort. In a statement to The Hill, McConnell referred to Greene's purported embrace of loony lies and conspiracy theories a cancer for the Republican Party. Old Mitch is proving more and more that he belongs in the swamp. The fact is that while she has said some things I disagree with, insofar as conspiracy theories are concerned, she's got a lot of support. And she has a mindset that while it makes the leftists angry, it shows that she's effective because she's using truth, which to the left is kryptonite. How truthful is Marjorie Taylor Greene? Have you had the opportunity to hear her, listen to her?
The Democrats, their plan is to tear this country down with socialism, and you can see what happened yesterday with impeachment. They have no intention of creating unity. They have no intention of healing. They only have full-scale plans to shut up and just go along with whatever they want to do, which is censorship, which is going to be taking away your Second Amendment rights, which is going to be the Green New Deal, which is going to be wide open borders and Medicare for all.
She's telling the truth, and they don't like that. Not even Mitch McConnell.
Trump for absolutely nothing. There was no trial, no evidence, nothing shown that he truly planned or incited the violence that happened at the Capitol that we all condemn. However, it's time to show the truth about Joe Biden, how he abused the power of office as when he was vice president.
Amen.
There's a real investigation going on into Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yes.
And the truth needs to come out there because we cannot have a man in the office of the president in the White House who is willing to dangle Americans' hard-earned tax dollars out with foreign aid just to help his son, Hunter Biden, become filthy rich through business scams, corruption, business dealings, and partnership with foreign energy companies. This is a dangerous threat to our nation, and it's a dangerous threat for every single American.
Wow. She is so right on all of it. On all of it. Did Mitch McConnell double down on those assertions, which are all 100% true? No. No, not Cocaine Mitch. No, Mitch goes along to get along. He likes his position. And by the way, if anybody has strong ties to China, Mitch McConnell. Elaine Chao is his wife. His sister-in-law does deals with the Chinese Communist government. Come on, man. Open your eyes, man. Cocaine Mitch doesn't want to ruin his payday. In fact, he and Biden probably compare notes to see who gets more money out of the Chinese Communist government. Hunter and probably John Kerry's in on that meeting too. John Kerry and his son Chris. Oh, this is all big incestuous. It's familial. It's nasty. It's so nasty. Another person who's completely out of touch is the most respectable cast member on The View. And that's going some. Meghan McCain had some words about Republicans and specifically Marjorie Taylor Greene. Listen to Meghan.
Now, political reporter Tara.
Oh yeah, first we got a Whoopi Goldberg
Stranglehold that you know who still has on this.
Oh yeah,
party.
she refers to Trump as you know who.
I think there's a huge disconnect right now between Washington and the rest of the country. And, you know, Trump, people don't want to hear anything against Trump. Actually, the more he stays out of the media, the more he becomes this martyr, this looming figure over the GOP. A lot of people said that they aren't really Republicans, that they're for Trump. That's it. And that's I think he's actually getting, I think the base is getting stronger, truly.
So, Meghan, do you agree with her?
Yeah, she wrote a really interesting piece, and Tara Palmieri works for Politico, and she's a really great reporter. She went to Cheyenne, Wyoming, where there's this huge, disconnect between the Liz Cheneys of the party and the Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz actually went to Wyoming to come out against her and say that she was wrong on impeachment. And I do think the more that the mainstream media continues to come out and say that all Republicans are birthers and crazy people and we believe in space lasers, then the more it makes traditional Republicans, and there's still a lot of them in the country, go back into their corners. And this is becoming very tribal. And I would argue that this is how we got Trump in the first place, is that there's just no nuance in it. I know that I have been talking all weekend with friends of mine who, some friends who are still Trump supporters, but don't like Marjorie Greene, obviously, and think she's crazy. I've yet to find anyone that likes her in my own personal life. And then there are other people who are like, screw the left, screw the media, because as long as we are all this one amorphous, crazy person, then it doesn't really matter. Then what's the point of even trying to have an argument if we're all Marjorie Taylor Greene? And I think that's the danger. I mean, look, you guys know me. I know you. I'm not like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm a Republican. I don't believe in birtherism. I don't believe in the Confederate flag, but it doesn't matter because as long as it's only Marjorie Taylor Greene, then people like me don't matter anymore. And it's in fairness, Marjorie Taylor Greene is giving the media and giving the public exactly the wrong thing at the wrong moment and is giving people on a silver platter this insanity. But even for me, I'm sick of trying to defend the fact that this crazy person isn't like the rest of us. She's kind of like Steve King. And she's sort of loud and embarrassing and not effective. I do think she should be removed from any and all appointments she had, especially education. But am I going to live a life where every day our first hot topic now is Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Well,
maybe.
There you go. There's Meghan. You know she's wrong, but you know why she's wrong? She grew up with her dad, John McCain. She was molded to think and believe the way he did. He was, for all intents and purposes, a rhino. Are we off the air here? I've lost my ability to hear. Wait a minute. No, we're still okay. I can't hear. I've lost my earrings. My headphones cut out. Sorry, that just distracted me. So we'll finish up here. But he was, for all intents and purposes, a rhino. John McCain was. We know that. She has no idea how popular this new breed of Republican is. And whether we like it or not, Donald Trump is the ringleader of this movement, which really can't be accurately described as Republican, can it? At least not in the conventional sense. Just like I don't think leftist progressive socialists can be described as Democrats in the conventional sense. So with that, I'm going to call it good here because I don't know why, but I've just lost all ability to be able to hear audio on this radio station, but all the meters are moving. So I think we're okay. So with that, I will say Mike Violette's here tomorrow morning at 6. I'll see you tomorrow at 9. Have a great afternoon, and careful driving in the snowstorm. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.